What if your favorite slice of pizza was a front for one of the most powerful criminal networks on Earth? A simple red-end white awning, a hand-tossed crust, the smell of garlic, oregano, and melted mozzarella. Customers come in for pepperoni, but behind the counter, there's something else baking, something darker. In the 1980s, a seemingly ordinary pizza shop in Brooklyn became the nerve center of a global drug trafficking operation, stretching from Sicily to Queens, from Naples to the Nevada desert. By the time the FBI caught on, the Pizza Connection would be one of the largest heroin pipelines in American history. But how did this happen? How did organized crime, the Mafia, infiltrate something as wholesome, as beloved as a pizza chain? The answer is far more twisted and far more brilliant than you might expect. To understand the story, we have to understand the stage. Post-war America, especially in cities like New York and Chicago, was a place of grit, opportunity, and deep immigrant identity. Italian-American communities, many of them freshly arrived from southern Italy and Sicily, brought with them not just recipes, but also, in some cases, deep cultural ties to organized crime. The Mafia wasn't born in America, it was imported. In Sicily, the Mafia had long been entwined with both the state and the street. In Naples, the Camorra ran entire neighborhoods. And in Calabria, the 'Ndrangheta controlled everything from kidnapping rings to weapons caches. These families had names: Gambino, Genovese, Banana, and ambitions that stretched beyond any single country. By the 1960s and 70s, heroin was booming in Europe, but distribution into the US required something more discreet, something ordinary, something no one would suspect. Pizza. Enter Gaetano Tommy Badalamenti, a high-ranking member of the Sicilian Mafia and one of the key architects of the Pizza Connection. Badalamenti wasn't just a mobster, he was a visionary. He understood supply chains, he understood logistics, and most of all, he understood the value of camouflage. His plan: use pizzerias across the United States, many owned by Sicilian immigrants, as drug drop points. Flour sacks could carry heroin, tomato cans could hide cash, pizza ovens were the perfect heat source to destroy fingerprints, and best of all, no one questioned pizza. Under Badalamenti's direction, dozens of small, legitimate-looking pizza shops were quietly turned into narcotics distribution hubs. From New Jersey to Illinois, the scheme ran almost invisibly, a hidden layer inside the American dream. The drugs would flow from laboratories in Turkey and Southeast Asia, to processing labs in Palermo, and finally to distributors in Brooklyn, all under the smell of fresh-baked dough. And the money: millions in clean, laundered dollars funneled through cash-heavy businesses. Easy to explain, hard to trace. The FBI, of course, suspected something, but they didn't know what, not at first. In the late 1970s, a young agent named Louis Freed began digging into suspicious wire transfers from pizzerias in New York to foreign accounts. He noticed odd patterns. The same shops filing for bankruptcy were wiring hundreds of thousands overseas. Others had no visible customers but still made payroll. Then came the wiretaps. One infamous recording captured a Mafia capo joking, "If the feds come in, just offer them a slice." What started as a fraud investigation quickly turned into something massive. By 1984, the US and Italian governments launched a joint operation, one of the largest anti-mafia investigations in history. Codenamed Pizza Connection, the investigation uncovered an international heroin network moving $1.6 billion worth of drugs. The trial that followed, the Pizza Connection trial, became the longest criminal trial in US federal court history at the time. It lasted nearly 17 months. On the stand were 22 defendants. Among them, pizza shop owners, drug couriers, mafia lieutenants, and Badalamenti himself, extradited from Spain. The evidence was staggering. Over 600 pounds of heroin, dozens of shell companies, Swiss bank accounts, smuggled cash and coded messages baked into pizza orders. But here's the thing, pizza wasn't just a cover, it was the perfect front. Let's break that down. First, cash. Pizza parlors are high-volume, cash-based businesses. Customers walk in, pay in bills, leave quickly. That makes laundering money simple. No one questions a successful pizza shop counting stacks of cash at the end of the night. Second, supply chains. Pizza ingredients come in bulk. Large sacks, dense packaging, ideal for smuggling. You can hide almost anything in a truck full of cheese and flour. Third, community cover. Many of these pizzerias were located in tight-knit neighborhoods, often Italian-American, where asking questions was discouraged. Loyalty ran deep. Silence was cultural. And fourth, jurisdictional blindness. Local police saw pizza. Health inspectors saw pizza. Zoning boards saw pizza. The mafia saw opportunity. The brilliance wasn't just in using pizza shops. It was in using legitimate ones. Some of the shops in the Pizza Connection were real, beloved restaurants. The owners were often unaware their businesses had become pawns in something far bigger. Others, though, were in on it, deeply. But this wasn't the only time organized crime used food as a front. In Chicago, the outfit used meatpacking businesses to move money and weapons. In Naples, the Camorra used bakeries. In Los Angeles, strip mall sandwich shops with mob ties funneled gambling profits. Pizza, however, remained special. Because it was everywhere, it was invisible. Even as the Pizza Connection trial wrapped in the late 80s, new families were finding new ways to adapt. The 'Ndrangheta, the Calabrian mafia, had learned from the mistakes of the Sicilians. Instead of heroin, they focused on cocaine. Instead of pizzerias, they used freight shipping companies and agricultural exports. But the lessons of camouflage stuck. Even today, investigators in Italy and Canada track mafia investments in food services. Olive oil, cheese, seafood, all excellent covers for smuggling and fraud. The concept is simple: hide in plain sight. Be so normal that no one looks twice. Fast forward to today. The mafia's influence has changed, but it hasn't vanished. In 2019, an Interpol-led investigation uncovered a modern version of the pizza operation in Germany, where 'Ndrangheta members were laundering drug money through dozens of restaurants and cafes. Again, the front was food. Again, it was hiding in plain sight. And in New York, even as corporate pizza chains dominate the market, many family-run pizza shops still serve communities quietly, some legitimate, some under watch. Technology has added new layers. Cryptocurrency, delivery app platforms, and contactless payments have made it easier and harder to trace money. Surveillance is more sophisticated, but so are the criminals. Maybe you're thinking that's all in the past. The mob got caught, the shops were closed, the cash dried up. But not so fast. Several of the key figures in the Pizza Connection trial served reduced sentences. Some disappeared entirely. Badalamenti himself, convicted and sentenced, lived out his final years quietly before dying in 2004. A mafia kingpin who once moved billions through pizza boxes. Today, the legacy lives on, not just in law enforcement handbooks, but in the simple, eternal brilliance of the idea. Want to move something illegal? Use something unbelievably legal. Want to vanish in the system? Build your business around something beloved, something no one would ever suspect. And when they do, offer them a slice. Because sometimes, the most powerful criminal empire is topped with pepperoni.